You're with Julian on the Brown Note and a review of Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. What an interesting film this is. So this is an adjacent Marvel Universe film. And the producers are the Russo brothers, who are very much the kingpins of the latter stages of the Marvel world. And it's directed by Kwan and Daniel Scheinert, who actually have only done one major film, which is completely bizarre. They're from America. They've got a very European touch. They did Swiss Army Man, which was a film starring a corpse of Daniel Radcliffe. And they've come back and made this unbelievable film. One of the most amazing and original and undescribable films ever. So you can say it's the crossover between the Marvel Universe, Cloud Atlas, Ingmar Bergman, and half a dozen other existential films. It goes in so many directions that it's hard to keep track of. If you do go and watch it, simply let it wash over you for half an hour. Nothing will make sense. And one of the great things about it, over the last few years, we've seen a lot of women over the age of 40 become action heroes. There's been, last year there was a run of about 5 films in a row where someone became like this ex-assassin, post-Kill Bill style female assassin. And I'm all for it. I've enjoyed most of them. And this time we've got Michelle Yeoh, who is one of the most famous actors. So I've got to get her ethnicity right. So Malaysian Chinese, and came up through early Hong Kong cinema, and probably best known for Tomorrow Never Dies, a Bond film, but also for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. At the age of 55, she is our latest addition to the age of 59. She is the latest addition to, back in the day, if you were over the age of 40, you played a mother in a film. And that was it. And now you get these still very sexual and dynamic action heroines, which is wonderful for cinema. So they've presented the Marvel superhero you didn't know you needed. So the premise of this is that Michelle Yeoh's character got cut off by her parents, who were very traditional sort of Chinese, and ran away with Ki Huan, who is her husband, and a very meek, very mild man, and she's got a lot of resentment that she's built up over the years to him. And her daughter, Stephanie Zhu, as Joy Wang, her daughter, who is gay and largely but crucially not completely accepted by her family. And it all stems around one of the most famous Asian actors ever, James Hong. Think Big Trouble in Little China, and I think he's been in like 600 movies. Instantly recognisable. Is the dad of Michelle Yeoh, who cut her off when she decided to run away with this guy and marry him. And he's coming over for this big party happening in the laundrette that the couple, the Yeoh and Kwan family laundrette. And at the same time, she's being audited by the IRS. And the auditor is Jamie Lee Curtis. So she goes through this thing at the start where she's really failing badly to be audited, and she's going to lose everything. Her dad's going to be really disappointed with her. And it's so hard to describe this film. Basically, a version of her husband appears who's much more dynamic and exciting, and says, look, you're in a lot of trouble here. Basically, I'm from another universe. I'm your husband in another universe. And someone from our universe has become this all-powerful entity that is roaming the universe looking for the correct version of you. So you exist in multiple universes. This film is everything Doctor Strange 2 is not. So she exists in multiple universes in slightly different kinds, different personality traits, so on. And this immortal, unstoppable being is trying to destroy the entire, not just one universe, but all of the universes. It won't make any sense at all. But basically, one of the premises is they've learned how to tap into all of the different abilities the other Yeohs have. So in one universe, the Michelle Yeoh is excellent at karate. She can tap into that and have the powers. In another universe, they've got, I am not making this up, hot dogs for fingers. Hot dogs for fingers might be the funniest thing I've seen in the film. It is amazing. So it follows the tropes of a normal Marvel film on some surface level, where there's this, being like the Scarlet Witch in the Doctor Strange one, where she's searching through the multiverse for someone. This is a launch pad for one of the most imaginative films made this century. It isn't a Marvel film. It's a film about the pain of existential despair, which sounds like it isn't at the start, but it really is. Let it wash over you. Part of this film revolves around this concept, which is Michelle Yeoh's character feels like she could have made so many better choices in her life, and she's got the worst one, and her life's meaningless. But imagine if another character had experienced all choices and still found that life was essentially meaningless and there was no point to existence. That is the rather deep crux of this movie. It has so much in it. It has some of the best laugh out loud comedy I have ever seen. I don't think I'll ever get over the fingers, hot dog fingers. A rather unfortunate fight sequence, which I won't quite go into. It's a little bit adult, and it involves toys, shall we say, in unfortunate places, or maybe the places they're supposed to be going. I have never been moved to both laughter and tears by two inanimate rocks, or by goggle eyes being put on said rock. Honestly, the rock sequence just killed me. This film is heartbreaking because it goes to the heart of the Michelle Yeoh character and the Stephanie Zhu characters. The Stephanie Zhu character is turning into a suicidal teenager who has, well, not a teenager, she's probably early 20s, who has this belief that there's no point to life. Life is meaningless. There's nothing to be gained from it. And about how Michelle Yeoh tries to find some reason to exist in this meaningless universe. It's so profound, it's heartbreaking, it makes you cry. It's got some of the best comedy you'll ever see. Michelle Yeoh. So since Lord of the Rings, we've never had an action or fantasy or superhero star win an acting Oscar. I predict Michelle Yeoh is going to win the first ever action, fantasy, sci-fi, superhero acting Oscar, certainly since Lord of the Rings. No one in the Marvel Universe got it. She has to win the Oscar for her Best Actress here. She does everything. The drama is heartbreaking. She shows herself to be an absolutely consummate comedic actress. And she is a brilliant action star. There's heaps of action in this film as well. High octane, from the kung fu style to really trippy visuals. The visual stage of this film is amazing. Larkin Sieppel, the first three characters are all awards worthy. Stephanie Zhu as the daughter is absolutely magnificent, and as another major character in it. And Ki-Hu Kwan is absolutely amazing as both the rather laughable husband and also the much more dynamic version of himself in the other universes. The supporting cast is incredible. James Hong and Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis' best role in decades. She's absolutely superb. It uses a multiverse concept Not to do what Marvel do, which is just to reintroduce people you've killed off, but to actually show different states of being. You can philosophically look at this film as though there isn't really a multiverse. These are just different versions of the same person in different states. You know, what if I'd chosen to go down this road? James Wong as well, when he's playing his alternate version of himself, who's kind of like the good overlord of that other universe, he is utterly fantastic. The music as well is great by Son Lux, who are an actual sort of post-rock band. Their music is amazing. I flirted with giving this only my second ever 10 out of 10 for so long, and I still am flirting with that. There are probably a few flaws here and there. Normally I don't care, like Cloud Atlas I gave 9.5 out of 10 to, even though that had massive flaws. But this film, honestly, it's dazzling, it's unbelievably imaginative. It brings an entirely new paradigm, both to this very jaded Marvel universe and to the entire notion of what's capable in a film. I don't even know how you'd make a screenplay for this. You really do have to let it wash over you. For the first half an hour, I had no idea what was happening. And don't read up on it either. So an absolutely tour de force film, which, you know, it's a superhero Marvel film that I really do genuinely believe has to be nominated for Best Director, Best Picture, Best Screenplay, possibly Best Soundtrack, and possibly Best Cinematography, possibly 2 supporting actors. And if Michelle Yeoh doesn't win Best Actress for this film, it's going to be a travesty. It's released really early in the year, and it's done very good box office for such an unknowable thing, such a unique thing. It made its money, and it's A24 again. A24, makers of The Witch, makers of Hereditary and half the last decade's brilliant films. They strike gold again. A24 with the Russo brothers producing. This is more of what we need. And honestly, there might be the odd small flaw here and there, but it will make you cry. It will make you laugh uproariously loud, and it is just continually dazzling. Very long. It's 2.5 hours. But it's so high octane and never stops that it is a lot of film to get through. So I'm going to give my joint. So I gave The Northman last week 9.5 out of 10. Said it was my favourite film of the year. I didn't flirt so much with giving it a straight 10 as I did with this. My gut feeling was a 9.5 for this too. So for my joint favourite film of the year, the utterly amazing Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, one of the most philosophically profound existential films you'll ever see, as well as being an incredible sci-fi fantasy madness film. A 9.5 out of 10, just magnificent.